And we are live. Hey everyone, this is Kevin the Apptrepreneur, and welcome to the Apptrepreneur Show, where we talk about apps, the gig economy, and all those things in between. And I am your host, Kevin. Now, we're starting this one absolutely late. I don't anticipate a whole lot of people to show up, and that might also be a good thing because it means this also might be a short one. Ironically, it's one that I would kind of like more audience participation for in general, but hey, if you happen to leave a comment after the fact, that would be great. So, what inspired me to just hop on all of a sudden and talk about a random topic other than sheer boredom? Well, believe it or not, I do still get, oh, hey, Devo Meister, things are going great. And Uberman Tampa, of course we have hobbies, and mine is trying to make money with. Well, I mean, that's what we're going to kind of talk about. So I believe it or not, still, actually, I'm going to leave that for a bit, just because I think it might be important. Thanks. I love the background too. Anyway, I gotta get my thoughts out there. So I do still get emails about content on this channel. Believe it or not. Yeah, I know views aren't that great. Yeah, subscribers have stagnated. Yeah, other channels have had more growth than us. I probably enjoy doing them a little bit more. It's kind of besides the point. I do still get emails about this channel and about content on this channel. And truthfully, I don't respond to them too much anymore because they're pretty predictable. Either there's someone asking that, hey, I got deactivated from Uber Lyft. What can I do to get reactivated? Why don't you make more Uber content? And then I have one viewer who used to be a Patreon member, no longer is a Patreon member, but seems to revel in the fact like, notice how your channel went downhill ever since you stopped talking about Uber. And it's like, yeah, the channel was going downhill before I stopped talking about Uber because Uber is a dead topic. Now, I don't want people to misinterpret what I'm saying. This is not woe is me, is the channel dead? Why don't people watch this stuff? But it is going to be why don't gig workers seem to have a life outside of the gig economy? And that's kind of the main topic. The last time I was seeing a gig worker public event type thing was when the rideshare professor did a get together in Long Beach. And that was a fun day. Got to meet some cool people. Ted was awesome. And it was awesome. I mean, I also saw the crybaby there. And, that guy does not impress me personally. But, otherwise, it was a fun day. And that was the last time I was really with the gig workers. And I started asking questions during that get together. And granted, some of them were self-serving. It was kind of like, oh, so what about some of the non-Uber videos on my channel? And they're like, oh, I don't watch them. It's like, oh, really? Can I ask why? Yeah. I have no interest in the topics. I don't do them. And this came up several times. The other videos you make topics on, I don't do them. And it's like, really? You don't watch Netflix? No, I don't watch. And so many people said, I don't watch Netflix. Can't afford it. Okay, you don't have a credit card where you collect points for travel? Nope, don't do that. I mean, when do I have time to travel anyway? What about the date vlogs? Those are kind of fun, right? It's like, yeah, no, those look kind of fun. Wish I had a girlfriend, but don't have time to have one. Kind of got to the point where I'm looking at all this. It's like, what do gig workers do for fun? Let's stop and think about this. One of the things that really attracted people to the gig economy was freedom and being your own boss. I heard people talk about how, hey, I found this great job at Uber. The way I used to do it personally was I would work on the weekends. I'd work Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and holidays. And if I woke up early one morning, I'd catch some airport runs. But for the most part, 3-day weeks. And I would make $500 to $800 depending. I did that every week, and that was really good. And I liked that. I was my own boss. I didn't have to work a 9 to 5. I didn't even have to work every single day if I didn't want to. And I spent the rest of the week basically enjoying me time, going to the movies, reading books, playing games. You know how many hours I logged on to Phantasy Star Online 2? Not many, because it only came out a couple of years ago. That was a trick question. I did play a lot of Final Fantasy, though. So that was ideal. And so you could see something like that and like, yeah, you know, I believe in that mantra, like, you don't live to work. You work to live, or you work to live. The basically thing like, look, it's good to work. It's good to enjoy your job if you want to, but don't make it your life. You know, most people who work 70, 80 hours a week, usually they're CEOs, they're workaholics. Like, hey, I want to make as much money as possible. I want to live in the mansion. I want to look at spreadsheets all day. Therefore, I'm going to work 60 to 80 hours a week. And I'm going to get paid real good money to work those 60 to 80 hours a week. That's the idea. And some people say they want to be rich, but then they look at the grueling schedule like, okay, yeah, you're rich, but what do you do with that? When are you going to actually enjoy your money? Every trip is a business trip. Every dollar spent is a business expense, apparently. Like, when do you actually get to enjoy all that money you make? And, you know, that's an interesting topic. I mean, even some of the rich people, it's like, what's their hobby? And have you ever noticed that with rich people, their hobby is always golf? And there's a reason why it's always golf. It's because golf is where the deals are made. I don't know if I actually like playing golf, but hey, that's where the business deals are made. That's where you talk to other CEOs and things like that, and you get business done. You play golf. It seems like gig workers are kind of in that same boat, except they have the opposite problem. They're working 60 to 80 hours to scrape pennies. And they don't have hobbies. And they don't really do anything, it seems like. Like, it's a really strange thing. Like, you know, I remember when I started this, and it's like, yeah, you still had some people out there who would drive 60 to 80 hours a week because they wanted to make the big bucks, and they seem to really enjoy doing it. And hey, props to them. But most people, hey, I'm going to work a few days a week, and I'm going to hit a certain goal, and then I'm going to stop because, you know, I'm my own boss. I can do that. And by golly, I want to enjoy life. And you know what? You should be allowed to enjoy life. That's also why early on in this channel's days, when there was like a news item for Uber every day, I would do the occasional live stream. About 30 to 50 people would show up, sometimes 100. And we would talk about random things for over an hour because the gig workers had a life. They had time to do things to themselves. They had time to watch me, which was obviously amazing. They don't seem to do that anymore. I mean, not watch me. That's not what I'm referring to, but it's like all they seem to do is work. All they do is drive, or all they do is deliver food. And they always seem to be living paycheck to paycheck. Like, I don't know too many janitors. I mean, I don't know a lot of janitors in all fairness. I know a couple. I don't know too many janitors that like work 80 hours a week. I don't think they'd be allowed to anyway, but I don't know any of them that really work 80 hours a week. Most of them get paid enough to basically work 40 hours a week. If they have to get a second job, then they will. Most of them do, but they don't work 80 hours a week. They still work somewhere between the 40 and 60 range, and they still seem to have hobbies. They have Netflix, they go home, they chill. And as Uberman Tampa points out, most gig workers are in financial trouble if they do it full time, because you can go through a lot of cars in that amount of time. Things like that, this make me really wonder about the audience I have, about the gig workers in general. I mean, I'm not, again, if you want to strike and everything, totally recommend you do it, but what are you fighting for at the end of the day? When this thing started, I had hobbies. Heck, I had time to make a YouTube channel. I think we all had time to make YouTube videos, and they wouldn't all be in the car. Sometimes they would be in our houses. Actually, for me, it was mostly in the house. And when I had live streams, we would talk about other things. But now, just on my channel alone, nobody wants to talk about anything other than rideshare, because this is basically their life. It's all they do. They wake up, they start driving, they drive all day, and then then some of them sleep in their cars, they wake up and they do it the next day. And it just seems totally backwards. And some people point out, oh, look, I make a couple $1,000s a week, but they're still working 90 hours a week. It's like, okay, great. You're making a couple $1,000s a week. Do you not do anything other than drive? Like, I'm just wondering about this. Like when did the job that keeps you from living become so important to people? Again, there's that saying, you work to live, you don't live to work. And yet gig workers increasingly live to work. By the way, I'm totally okay with people starting an eBay store. But here's another thing, like those eBay videos I make, they don't make a lot of views. And people who email me about them say, hey, can you stop talking about eBay videos? I do Uber full time. That's why I watch your channel. Can you tell me how to make more money on Uber? I mean, if they, anyway, I agree with this, but I wasn't supposed to bring it up. And it's like, no, I really can't give you advice on how to make more money on Uber, because I don't think it's possible, strictly speaking. Ironically, starting an eBay store might relieve you from having to do Uber or Lyft as much, because there would be some passive income and it's nowhere near as stressful. But they don't want to consider it. It's not only that they only want to talk about rideshare or food delivery. It's like they seem to reject alternate ideas on how you can make money on the side. And then they're not enjoying life. Like there's another Uber tuber whose name I will not name. I wish I could talk to him personally, but I unfortunately lost his number. And several months ago, he made a video and he said that rideshare costs him everything. Now, I have found out what that was since then. And apparently, rideshare was a huge problem that contributed to that. And that's when he finally said, you know what, forget this. I can't do it anymore. I mean, and it was another thing that I realized, like gig workers have a huge tolerance for pain. Like they will put up with a lot to not give up this job until it finally costs them something that they were not prepared to lose. So here's the thing that I'm kind of wondering. Why don't Uber drivers have, not even Uber drivers, just gig workers in general, why don't they have hobbies? Like, I think if they had hobbies, they had other interests. First of all, they might find some of my other videos fun, but big picture, they might actually be a little bit happier. like, because they would be working to live. The gig workers seem to not only not do that, they don't seem interested in getting out of their predicaments. And it's a really strange phenomenon. Now, whether or not I make Uber videos or gig economy videos on this channel anymore, frankly, that's my business. If I want to do it, I'll do it. If I don't want to do it, I won't do it. Frankly, I'm not getting the numbers I used to be making anyway, so I might as well make the videos that I want to make. But it's becoming really sad that, it's such common knowledge that you're losing money when you do this and that it's a losing game. And the fact that virtually everybody got out of this system except for a few people, even I had to, toss in the towel. It was just ridiculous at one point. Like, I'm going to go get an office job. I'm going to get an office job and I'm going to make $1,000 a week. It might not be as much fun, but what the heck? I'll make money. I'll have benefits. And I'll have time to go to the movies and Universal Studios and spend time with my wife who, needs attention sometimes because wives need that once in a while. And so I did it. And then I think the funny thing is, like, I think I stopped talking about the gig economy for the most part because it's like, it's just kind of a sad state of affairs. Like, what are you really talking about anymore? Why are you letting yourself get abused over nothing to live paycheck to paycheck? Sometimes not even that. Sometimes like you're like in a deficit every single week. It's just, it's ridiculous. And I kind of want to challenge for the few people who are still watching this channel, who still hope that I'm going to give them some good news about these rideshare and food delivery companies. Instead of like just saying it's a pipe dream, I don't think you really need to realize it's not going anywhere. You need to ask yourself this: do I have a hobby? Do I have a hobby? Do I have time to have a hobby? Do I have time to enjoy life? Do I have time to watch a little Netflix? Do I have time to read a book? Do I have time to go on a date? Do I play with my pet? Do I go to the local theme park once in a while? Heck, do I just window shop for the heck of it? No, I'm not going to buy anything, but do I have time to just window shop? If you can't answer yes to any of these things, then you're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong. Because unless that job that's keeping you away from all of that stuff is paying you an amount of money where you can get a luxury apartment or this nice house, something to that effect, then you're doing this wrong. And that's kind of what I was thinking of. I mean, yeah, I'm partially annoyed that I still get emails from people basically trying to strong arm me into making Uber and DoorDash videos when I think it's clear I'm not interested in that anymore. But I think it might be more sad that people are still asking me to do that at all because they don't have anything else in their lives that they think about. I mean, have any of you seen that movie Jiro Dreams of Sushi? That's a fascinating documentary. That's a really fascinating documentary. So it's about a guy named Jiro. He is apparently the best sushi maker in all of Japan. He even served President Barack Obama and Prime Minister Abe. He's a big deal. And it's really expensive sushi, and but people love it. And there's a story in that video, that movie, because I think you have to stream it on Vudu or something, that I thought was very fascinating. Apparently, he was sick one day and he stayed home from work because that's what you do when you're sick. And he was in bed, or he was on his futon mattress or something like that. His son comes into the room, sees him, and runs out screaming, Mommy, there's a stranger in your bed. Now, Jiro at that point laughs and says, I wasn't home very much. I mean, think about that, though, really, you spend that much time making sushi that you don't even see your own son? You're not home enough so that your son even knows what his dad looks like? That could easily be a gig worker. The way these things have been working out, I mean, I've unfortunately, do you know how many gig worker viewers I've known over the years who at one point admitted, in confidence, of course, so I'm not going to single any of them out, that basically they did rideshare so much that they ended up getting divorced? Because why wouldn't they? They're never home. They're never home. They're not doing anything with their spouse. They don't make enough money to come home. So I'm starting to think that maybe, do I have a hobby, is a question everyone should be asking themselves if they have, regardless what work they do, but especially if you are a gig worker and you spend your time on YouTube looking at all these videos, hoping that one day someone like me or Dustin or Rideshare Professor will tell you that, hey, things are going to get better. I mean, if that's all you're doing and you're not doing anything for yourself and taking care of yourself, I don't know. Doesn't seem like much of a life to me, but what do I know? My YouTube channel's dead, remember? So, with that said, let me look through some of these comments, see if there are any questions or something in there. I'm glad you love the background. Definitely like it. My channel has not grown either in this point since 2016. I don't care. Yeah, it kind of gets to a point where at some point it just is what it is. So thankfully I have 2 other channels that are growing. I don't know if they'll reach the heights that this one did, but those ones are more fun to work on anyway. I'll tell you why. They're desperate, have to work 900 hours a week for 50 cents a mile. Plus they think it's a business. And I guess in regards to the credit card, most Uber drivers don't have good credit, although there's still some good credit cards that even someone with not good credit can get. If you watch some of my other videos, guys, you might learn something about that. Let's see here. In 7 years of doing Uber, I have about 3,000 rides and about 4,000 deliveries. I'm not that dedicated. Let's look at the Devo Meister here. Just started driving after 2 years absence. Lyft paying crappy. Hobby is catching up on TV shows. Binge watching House from the beginning on 4th season. Oh yeah, House. That was a great show. Last 2 seasons were weird. I don't know if I liked the last 2 seasons. But of course, you kind of bring up another thing I'm questioning. Like, okay, you started driving after 2 years absence. The Lyft pays crappy. So why do it? So most gig workers are in financial trouble too if they do it full time. Oh yeah, we talked about this one earlier. Sorry. Let's see here. When I first started 7 years ago, I made $250 from 6 a.m. to noon and back in my RV. Yep. Now this guy's smart. He has an eBay store. eBay stores bring in good money sometimes. And you know what? I would argue that going through thrift stores and garage sales looking for treasures to find is it's granted it's more of a crapshoot, but it's a lot more fun and potentially a lot more rewarding. Now, this I kind of agree with as well. Uber drivers are lazy. Let's just say it. Most employers will not hire them because they feel that Uber drivers won't obey authority. And you know what? There's probably some truth to that, because how many Uber or how many viewers, I should say, who are Uber and DoorDash drivers and stuff like that, say that they will not get a job because they like their freedom to clock in and clock out whenever they want, even though they're clocking in at 4 a.m. and not clocking out until 10 p.m., something like that. They don't have the freedom they think they do. And again, they don't have a hobby. So let's see here. Devo Meister says, most of the rideshare video on YouTube I see is from rideshare face groups. Stop selling on eBay because of extra fees as a seller. Well, I think that's a little short-sighted, personally. I mean, yeah, eBay does raise the fees. And yeah, one of the reasons they do that is because they want you to push you towards subscribing to a store, which lowers the fees. But you know, here's the thing. If I'm getting, like, I sold a Michael Jackson record today. I sold it for $20, but I bought it for $2 at a Goodwill store. Do I really care if the fee goes up 2% or something like that? Do I care if the fee goes up 20 cents? I mean, do I care if eBay takes $2.75 out of that sale? It's still a huge markup. So that's my thing. So let's see here. We are all one paycheck away from being homeless. My landlord is selling. We will be at the end of November. I'm getting ahead of that. Oh, geez, I'm sorry. Well, I'm glad you're getting ahead of that. I'm really happy to hear that. Some drivers have no concept of time management. Yeah, you know what? Some drivers also don't have a concept of. They don't have a concept of how to use a spreadsheet. And apparently it's midnight, so in Novi, Michigan. So awesome. Thank you for joining us. Ruby in Tampa says, people taking 5-mile deliveries for $3 need to really think about their lives. Peterson ended up homeless. Rookie is homeless and divorced, and the list goes on and on. Oh, shit. Oh, shoot. Rookie is homeless and divorced. Wow. I didn't know that. You know, I'm just going to state right now, even though you can't see it because I got this green screen, and I think we can all agree that the green screen has definitely added visually to the show. My jobs and my side hustles that do not involve Uber and Lyft have kept me in this house for more than 10 years, which is funny because certain people joke that I lived in my parents' basement. That's not true. I mean, I'm not going to prove it by showing, address records or anything like that. But yeah, my crazy little YouTube job and then real jobs kept me in this house for more than 10 years. You can't make those videos because you don't. Oh yeah, about advice videos. Yeah. No, the only advice I really have to give people nowadays is just get out of it. Like, what are you doing? Just get out of it. Even a paycheck, people are homeless because of pricing things. Yeah, that's a thing too. Oh yeah, the inflation's really bad right now. Even a full-time job and have one part-time job, that sucks. Most people I talk to have 3 jobs here in Florida. And you know what's really interesting is I know people who live in Florida who've actually told me, yeah, our governor does like a great job. Everything's going great. And it's like, well, even in Florida, 3 jobs. There you go. Man, for me, this YouTube is things that keep you. YouTube can keep you busy. It really does. The biggest question is, why can't people get jobs? I think there's another question. Do gig workers want these jobs? Because when I recommend to gig workers that maybe they should start considering another job, another line of work, I can see them rejecting the advice out of hand. Like, what am I going to do? It's not that difficult to be a secretary. It really isn't. It's not that difficult to sit at a desk, answer phones, greet people, write down appointments, forward some emails. Those jobs can sometimes pay up to $30 an hour. Like, why don't people do it? Do people not know how to use Gmail? Let's see here. Romeo seems to have an answer for that. Because they don't want a W-2 and a boss to tell them what to do, set schedule. They'd much rather just work 12 to 13 hours a day consistently with gig work, and what happens then? Then they're on a schedule anyway. I really like this Spindrift stuff. All right. So, my hobby is making soap. I've seen that to help with skin issues, and I've helped a lot of people. That's more rewarding, and of course, the candles. Yeah, I would say that it's probably more fun to make that stuff too. You see, that's like something that you could actually build upon, and if you get a reputation, then maybe you can eventually get helpers, and You know, a lot of people who start these candle and perfume businesses and these restaurants, they started it in their own living room. And it became well known enough that eventually they expanded you. So you never know what's going to happen with that. Check it out. Sometimes over 8,000 items. McFarrow Zero. Okay, well, you've got some free advertising there. I mean, I wish it was as useful as the advertising was 3 years ago, but there you go. Let's see here. Keep in mind, the landlord has not told us directly, but after the termite inspection, I know she's selling. And you would think that because she doesn't want to pay to get rid of the termites, or have the termites destroyed the foundation enough where she feels it might not be worth fixing. Is that what you're getting at? Apparently it's 11 in Oklahoma. Awesome. Then I'll resume. Was selling water filter pitcher for $19. Should have made $3. eBay charged me on the sales tax. Yep, that happens. That's why you have to, when you price something, you really have to price it to where you're getting at least like a 30 to 40% profit. Ideally, 60% is great. It's not DeSantis' fault. It's agreed from landlords because 1,000 people a day are moving to Florida. There might be 1,000 people a day moving to Florida. I wouldn't say that I doubt that. I do agree that landlords can be problems. I mean, landlords are some of the most unsympathetic people in the world. There's a reason most villains in these rom-coms are landlords. I don't mind working at that coffee shop, mom and pop shop. Yeah, I wouldn't mind either. So let's see here. You said true. I don't know what you said true to. Oh, you have a Batman license plate in your picture. I just noticed that. That is neat. I've had 12 people ditch steroids for Physirus because of my soap. Interesting. No termites in the home, but you have to have an inspection before selling it. Oh, I see. Yeah. Yeah, that's reading the room. Like, yeah, you get a termite inspection, and yeah. Here's an interesting one. You heard California start paying $22 an hour for McDonald's, Starbucks, and other. Yeah, California I think they signed a bill where fast food workers make $22 an hour. I have no idea how that's going to affect things. I mean, California is so expensive that, yeah, 25 should be really a starting point. But at the same time, I do know that basically that's going to put pressure on other companies to raise their prices. And when other people start making more money, and Uberman Tampa kind of alluded to this, landlords are going to get greedy. They're going to go like, oh, everyone's making more money, so now we can charge more money for the rent. And then we're in the same position we were before. So let's see here. Rents in Pasco County have gone from $900 a month to $2,000 a month in 1 year. You know, let's look at that real quick. What's a city in Pasco County? I'm just kind of curious about. I want to look something up if you don't mind. Uberman Tampa, when you get the chance. The cool car is Batman. Even the Batman movies play inside it, and a 620 Nintendo game system in there, and a whole car lights up at night on the inside and outside. Now that's an Uber ride that would actually be really, really fun. That would be a really great Uber ride to have. And the customers love that here is a Batman. that's awesome. Oh, Port Ricky. All right, let's see here. Port Ricky, Florida, for rent. So let's look at rent low to high. So let's look at this real quick. I'm just kind of curious. So let's see here. So 21 hours ago, apparently this apartment went up for rent for $900 a month. $950. Rent to own that works. That's obviously an ad. $1,100 a month. Here's a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom, 560 square foot apartment for rent, $1,300. I mean, look, I'm gonna point, just say this. The 1-bedroom apartments that are near where I live are going for about $3,000 a month. So that should definitely put some perspective. Like, let's look at this one real quick. So this is 1-bedroom, 1 apartment. This is a unit 49. This is for rent. I mean, that doesn't look terrible for $1,300. I mean, granted, I know there's like utilities and stuff like that, but yeah, I could live there. I mean, granted, I'm trying to get out of the renting situation. I want to buy, and I think within a year and a half, I'll finally be able to buy. Whether it'll be in California or not is another matter altogether. Here's a house for rent. $1,500, 2 bedrooms, 1 bath. See, I could afford that. I could afford that on my own, but you throw in my wife's salary as well, we can definitely afford this. It's not even a question. We can afford this. I don't know what your situation is like, but yeah, we could afford this. But now let's do something. Let's do something else. Let me let's look at Los Angeles. Let's look at where I live, what they're charging here. This is this is going to get a little sad, folks. So, okay, here's a 300 square foot apartment to rent, 1 bedroom, 2 baths for $600 a month. You get to a studio, 1 bath, it's $800. Now, this is interesting. Really? I don't know how this one works out. $900 a month to rent, 5 bedroom, 2 bath, 110 square foot. Okay, let's see here. 1 block west of USC and DPS zone gated, off-street parking, laundry on premises, no smoking inside premises, 1 person per. Okay, so they're renting a 110 square foot room for $900 a month. Here's a 220 square foot apartment, $985 for rent. What happens if we get up to let's get up to $1,300? That place in Florida or $1,500, where you could rent that house in Florida. Let's just see what we can get for $1,500 where I live. We're getting close. We are getting close. I want it to hit that 1,500. I want it to hit that 1,500. So close. It's funny. They want to keep it just okay. Here we go. $1,500 a month. Apartment. Studio. 1 bath. 500 square foot. $1,500. What about this one? Studio, 1 bath, 550 square feet, $1,500. By the way, see this gated community? That's because that's like not a great part in town. That's why those gates are there. This apartment is on sale, 400 square foot, $1,500. Is there a house? Okay, here's an interesting one. House for rent, but it says studio. It still says studio. Apartment, townhouse for rent. I mean, I guess that's something. 2 bedrooms, 1 bath, 950 square foot. You just need to completely remodel the place, but I guess you can do that. Yeah, this is like, I am thankful every day for the deal that I have, because I could not afford these. I mean, I could, but this is bull. This is truly bull. So anyway, that was kind of fun, right? Let's see here. So let's see here. Don't look at apartments, okay? Well, we did look at houses, so that's great. Let's see here. It's going to be the cost of business for the mom and pop business. $2,000 is the average. So, but apparently that $1,500 is the hood. So let's see here. A lot of Americans are moving in Mexico. Mexico is becoming the new California, since local Mexico people wouldn't be able to pay rent, since Americans are living in Mexico and it drives Mexico rent up. I know nothing about that. Mexico are kicking out the Americans from down there. I think that's a little interesting. Not to get political, but I think it's fascinating that Mexicans don't mind crossing the border over here, but if we cross the border over there, they want us out. Very, very interesting. CNBC features all Americans are moving in Mexico. They can still live in Mexico and work USA salary. Maybe. So issue with me, I can't do a $1,500 a month. Plus, you need to make 3 times the rent. You also need first, last, and security plus pet fees. Yep. That's something you got to definitely. I'm sorry that's the position you're in. I'm very fortunate that we have a healthy savings and a strong portfolio. But yeah, those issues can be tough. Robert says, I rent a house here in Oklahoma, small town. It's a big 3-bedroom home on a ranch for $650 a month. That's reasonable. That is completely reasonable. That's a roommate ad. Interesting. Okay. Let's see. Yeah. So you see you're commenting on my stuff. Yeah. Sorry, I wasn't seeing that. Let's see here. Mexico government wouldn't kick out Americans since the Americans are spending money on Mexico. Issue is, no matter where you live, you have to make 3 times the rent to qualify. Yeah. Rideshare Source Driver says app gig work is a curse. Sometimes it's 20 times of the rent. I kind of doubt that. I mean, maybe some houses and some loans it have to be that, but most of the time, no. They want you to make 3 times more than the rent. And that's what they are looking for. So I'm just one more thing, and then we will but we'll probably bring this to an end. But let's see where my parents live. My parents want me to come back to Sacramento. So let's see here. 100, 750 square foot apartment, $1,050 a month. A 550 square foot apartment, $1,050 a month. Not a whole lot better up there. It really isn't. Here's a house for rent. I'd probably be okay doing this since we'd be renting a house. $1,169 a month. 64th Street. That's it's not the worst neighborhood in the world, but it's also not the safest area in the world. Let's see here. This is a shared living situation. Of course it is. This 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom home had a single room available to rent. The room will be available October 1st. The house allows pets and has an impressive backyard. It is located in a friendly and walkable neighborhood. The house is biking distance to UC Medical Davis and Sac State and walking distance to a bus and light rail stop. Lease is till the end of 6/30/2023. Pet rent is determined by the pet's PAWS score. What the heck is a PAWS score? The landlord assists with the water bill. The rest is covered by the tenants. Tenants pay for gas and electric. Tenants must have renter's insurance. Income above $3,557. All right. I have to look. What is a PAWS score? Let's see here. What is a PAWS score? All right. Let's see here. Pet screening. What is a paw rating? FIDO score. It's called a FIDO score, really? Our proprietary FIDO score measures the level of risk a property manager may assume for housing a specific household pet and its owner. The FIDO score ranges between 5 paw down, lowest risk, to 0 paw, highest risk, and is included with each household pet profile we screen at pet screening. Note, assistance animals do not receive a FIDO score. That's amazing. Several factors are weighed when calculating the FIDO score, including but not limited to type of animal, breed, age, weight, gender, vaccination history, behavioral traits, pet owner's care. After a household pet profile is activated, we send all the pet's information exactly as the pet owner provided to the housing provider along with the FIDO score. I am very interested in this. I might actually want to make a video like Minnie. I wonder if you would qualify for a FIDO score. Minnie's my pet chinchilla. Would she qualify for a FIDO score? I wonder. Wow. This is hilarious. This is absolutely hilarious. I can't believe this. Oh, I wish I could have the making a pet profile like pet screening. Let's go to pet screening. So we gotta. I switched. I'm sorry, folks. I know this is probably boring you, but my goodness, this is so fascinating. The industry's first and leading pet policy management software. Oh my gosh. Okay. No cost, no commitment. I'm curious. No, I'm a resident. Okay, let's. Okay. Obviously, I have to not show this right now. Like, let me. We'll see how far I get. If they start asking me like, address and personal information, I probably won't do anything. I should probably make sure. Yeah, okay, no one can see. So let's create a profile, accept the terms of service. Yeah, sure. Why not? Are you moving? No, not moving. Not yet anyway. Let's save that. Sure, why not? Let's. Okay, use the selected address. Do you have a pet or? All right, let me share this again. I think we're in the safe zone. Do you have a pet or animal? Yes. What kind of animal do you have? Other. Click submit when finished. Okay. Oops. Let's stop that real quick. I will have to edit this out, and that's just going to give you spam. Yeah, but I'm curious. I am curious. So, okay, yeah, nah. let me see here. Name, mini species, other breed. Chinchilla. I don't actually think they're gonna. Yeah. Never. So I probably do not qualify for a Fido score. I probably do not. So we're just gonna leave it at that. That was hilarious, though. Like, wow. I didn't think that actually was a thing. So, there you go. Let's see. All right, let's go back. I got some things. Let's see here. Uber Tampa. Sometimes it's 20 times. I thought I don't. No, I read in NYC it's 20 times. Well, that's New York City. New York City is a very unique beast. Cheaper rent usually means cheaper wages. That's why I love my remote job, that I can technically do wherever I want. So there are no more cheap states now. Technically not true. There are still cheap states. Yeah, it was definitely a roommate ad. Yep. It does, doesn't it? And well, yeah, I know it was going to give me spam, but what the heck? I'll just unsubscribe to it. So anyway, so folks, that's where we are going to end this live stream. We actually went on almost an hour. I was expecting to just do this for 15 or 20 minutes or something like that, but no, we ended up just kind of hanging. So I guess this live stream is kind of technically a hobby of mine at this point. YouTube's just something I do for fun. But hey, at least I have time to have a hobby, right? So anyway, folks, that is where we are going to end this episode. What do you think about all this? I'd love to know. Comment below, like, favorite, share, subscribe. And as always, flame responsibly. Have a good one.